awesome. Glad the black guy gave you.
I'm not giving you permission to say the N-word, nigga. Like, what? Like, what?
Stroke the fuck out. Let me live, dumb fuck.
Alright, there goes my beer.
The scariest
Fridge
cults
did it in
from
front of you,
around
though.
the world.
You didn't give him
Imagine you're
permission.
standing on the street just minding your own business when you get approached by a couple and they have some important information for you. They tell you that they are spiritual guides and they can help take you to a next level of existence beyond Earth and human comprehension. They say that
All I gotta say is, if someone approaches you on the street randomly and tries to get you to be your spiritual guide, and you don't take the opportunity, you're a bitch. What are you scared of? Exactly. What's gonna happen? Maybe they sacrifice you a little bit, get you high first. What's the problem with that? You would want to sacrifice me, gay boy.
that you can transcend humanity by transforming into an immortal extraterrestrial being. It sounds like an interesting proposal. So you take a flyer and attend a meeting, and at this point, you can go either one of two ways. Your suspicions are either confirmed and you realize that you spoke to crazy people, or you believed you talked to some of the most important people ever, and in that instance, you just joined a cult. This cult is known as Heaven's Gate, and it was an American cult founded in 1974 by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles, who, like I mentioned, saw themselves as spiritual guides to a next level of human existence. Without spoiling the ending, Heaven's Gate is most commonly known for its mass...
In all honesty, if you join any of these fucking cults, like this one, you deserve what you got.
What's bro yapping about?
I'm not gonna lie, like, if you join any of these cults, you deserve what you fucking got. Like, who the fuck?
You become a Scientologist, I'm not surprised you die.
Gold?
Like-
Gold?
I'll personally execute you on the spot.
Like, I start, what's it called? I come up to you, and I'd be like, hey, aliens, they're real, but you gotta die first. No, nigga, you deserve to die. No, that's your fault.
suicides committed by its members, but the story goes a lot deeper than just the headlines. Nettles and Applewhite first met in 1972 and went on a journey of spiritual discovery together, and came out on the other side identifying themselves as two witnesses of Revelation, or the Book of Apocalypse in the Bible. This claim alone, and some clever convincing, was reason enough for them to start attracting hundreds of people to start at least paying attention to their movement in the mid-70s. And after a few years, they even had over a dozen members adopting a monastic lifestyle, dedicating their life to Heaven's Gate, and giving up all worldly pursuits beyond this cult, which is insane. This cult is commonly recognized as a UFO religion, primarily because the central belief of this group was that the followers could transform themselves
Crazy,
into
stop talking.
immortal
Me and Small Streamer here
extraterrestrial
are
beings
watching a YouTube
by
video.
rejecting their human nature. By rejecting this human nature, they would, by default, ascend to heaven, or what they would refer to as the next level. This cult primarily grew by Applewhite and Nettles trying to contact other extraterrestrials, aka like-minded people, aka other crazy people. They took out ads and flyers to promote meetings where they would recruit disciples that they called the crew. At these events, they would purport to represent beings
there you
from
go.
another
My fault,
planet
gang.
who were looking for patients for an experiment. That alone is already creepy. They got straight to the crazy even on sign up. There was no easing into it, it seemed. They mentioned, though, that those who agreed to take part in their experiment would be brought to a higher evolutionary level. An interesting proposal, potentially, but still, red flags are everywhere. In 1975, Applewhite and Nettles preached at a motel hall in Oregon, and following that session, over 20 people sold all of their worldly possessions and essentially disappeared off the face of the planet, not being seen by family, friends, or even the general public at all. These people didn't just disappear, but they had become a part of Heaven's Gate, which at this point had already began going underground. Applewhite and Nettles changed their name to Doe and T, and they had led nearly 100 people across the country to ditch their family.
So you're telling me out of all the names they changed their shit to, Doe and T is the things they fucking come up with?
What?
These fuckers changed their name to Doe and T. Out of all the names, Crazy, if you could change your name to anything, what would you change your name to?
I don't fucking know. I
Yeah, you're
wouldn't change
useless.
my
You're
name.
useless. I'm sorry. You're done. You're done.
families and
wouldn't change
join.
my
You're
name.
done. You're canceled.
Cancel for what?
You know what? Bet, meme. You're the homie. You'll answer the question right. Meme, if you can change your name to anything, what should you change your name to?
Supplied.
Okay, where the fuck is mine? Yeah. Just gonna hit you with one of those real quick.
Damn, that was rude, bro. Why'd you do that?
Heavens
Just
Gate.
one
The
him.
lore
You
that
know
they
I
came
have
up
to
with
honestly
is
stop
deep.
playing.
And it's a really weird twist on a lot of existing religious texts and theories about history. But one of the more interesting claims they made is that they believe that Jesus himself was an alien, which is an interesting take for sure. But what's more interesting is what
Jesus,
happened
the
in
alien.
October of 1996. The group rented a large house that they
Alright, I'm not gonna lie. Them saying Jesus was an alien. It kind of makes sense. You're not even watching. If you're not watching, you wouldn't know what I'm yapping about. Speaking of aliens, after this, you want to play Phasmophobia? You want to play Phasmophobia after this? Can we play Phasmophobia?
Where the fuck did you get aliens out of all this?
Shut the
Phasmophobia
fuck
is not
up.
alien.
Shut the fuck up and answer the question.
I don't fucking know.
So, do you want to play Phasmophobia?
No.
called the Monastery, which was a 10,000 square foot mansion in California. At the time, they were paying $7,000 per month in rent, cash, and they even took out alien abduction insurance on each of their members with a $1 million payout per person. Which, who the hell is selling alien abduction insurance? But that's a side point. That's a video about insurance scams, not cults. Now, this house isn't the interesting event, but it's the precursor to what really put this cult on the map. Nearly 1 year into renting the monastery, Applewhite taped a video of himself entitled Doe's Final Exit, where he spoke on mass death and how it was the only way to evacuate this earth. He was convinced that the comet Hale-Bopp was the sign that the group had been looking for,
And that's
speculated that there was a
Hale-Bopp?
UFO following this comet. And because of this, Applewhite and 38 of his followers prepared
comet's
a ritual
Hale-Bopp.
death. This death
And that's your moment where and when you need to fucking realize, yeah, I fucked up. Leave the fucking call. Cause what the fuck?
lined up exactly with when the comet was closest to the Earth, so that their souls could reach the next level. In the following days, 39 people had taken a concoction of vodka and poison, and, like you may have guessed, died. There is so much crazy
they
and
got
honestly
tipsy
disturbing
before they
lore to
fucking
this cult,
died,
but I
for
think
real,
the
for
best
real.
way to describe it is that they believe that humans were boring, aliens were cool, and if a human wanted to become an alien, they had to die. It's amazing what people are willing to believe and dedicate and sacrifice their life for. Oh, and if the Heaven's Gate logo looks familiar, Lil Uzi Vert used it as inspiration for his album cover, which is odd. Now, instead of being approached
actually
by
kinda
a
funny.
crazy couple, you were approached by a stick
It's
figure
actually
on
kinda
YouTube.
funny.
And he had an interesting proposition for you. He wanted to give you free gummies, but these gummies were special. Let's get straight to the point. If you've seen our drug series, which judging by
Hello,
the
mac and
views you
cheese and
probably
cat
have,
FM.
then you would have heard about our awesome sponsor, 5CBD. And they even sponsored
can't be
this
listening
video
to the
too.
stream
Don't skip
anymore.
because
It's
if you're over
making
21
me
and live in the
brain
USA,
not
you
work.
can
Like,
get free.
geez,
Assuming
ads.
you're a semi-reasonable person,
Ads?
you're likely not interested or swayed by the
Fuck
claims
outta
of an
here.
afterlife and UFOs and being a part of the Bible from random strangers. What a reasonable person may be interested in, though, is a community that worships God, people that are like-minded in faith, a faith that at surface level seems semi-reasonable. In this instance, you may be interested in the Children of God. This name already
Don't
may
you
sound
love
familiar, and that's
puzzles?
because Nick Crowley, a
Is
great
that who I
YouTuber,
think that is?
Who do you think it is? What?
It is.
What do you think
Hi,
it is?
Shadow.
AC literally said my name.
Well, I was watching a YouTube video with my stream, so.
Oh, you
know.
don't listen to me? You don't
Well.
listen to me? That's fucked up.
Well, I'm sorry. You know, next time, get on my level, nigga.
just made a video about some of the lore
Bitch.
involved with this cult. Specifically, the TV programs
why you're
this
turned
cult
down,
was
bitch,
producing,
so it-
which
this
was
shit couldn't even hear
insane.
you.
It was essentially propaganda pieces for children. And spoiler alert, it was pretty disturbing. But we'll get to that. The Children of God lore is deep, and I'll do my best
I'll
to
tell you
summarize
Why
it
so
as
much
neatly as
arguing
possible.
already?
The Children of God was founded
one's
by a
arguing. What are you
creep
talking
named
about?
David Berg in 1968.
Me and me
It
were just
initially
kissing before you
attracted
came in here.
young followers with the message of love,
They're doing
We
moral
were,
more
living,
yeah. It was
and
very
devotion,
sensual.
which may sound
Ah,
innocent enough. But the
that's
group
very
soon
gay.
became infamous
gay, it's
for
almost
its
wrong being gay,
controversial
huh?
beliefs and practices. Most of
What
these
are you,
controversial beliefs and
homophobic?
practices started to be introduced once the cult was more established. Initially, some of their beliefs were more conservative
Homophobic.
and aligned with the Bible, although it seemed that the group's beliefs started to morph to fit Berg's personal
believe this.
desires,
Can you believe this,
which
chat? Can you
we'll get
believe this,
into.
chat?
For example,
Yeah, I
initially
can't-
the group
can't
was rather
believe you. Why are you
conservative and didn't even
homophobic?
believe in hand-holding until
What a
marriage.
fucking loser.
But once Berg had an affair with his assistant, he then started spreading messages of polygamy, which turned into what he called sharing, which we'll get into. That gets a lot
What the
darker. Before we
fuck?
get too into the weeds, let's get some context.
Oh
What?
man, oh man, it shracked you into his cult. Like, yeah.
Was small streamer
We're
hater
chill- we're-
attacking you again?
No, we're chill. No, I was talking about the video. So, fucking old man invites you to his cult. Get this picture, right? Out of nowhere, all you hear is, yeah. You should share your fucking partner.
What
yeah,
channel
like,
is that?
are you not sharing your partner? Like, you should totally enter polygamy. It's called Trust Me, Bro.
Mm.
Next, we're gonna watch Wendy Goon.
Wendy Goon.
Wendy
Little
Goon.
gooner.
Oh my gosh, for you.
This group
Yeah.
was founded with a core
How'd you know?
focus on an apocalyptic prophecy.
Oh, hi,
with Berg was
Matt.
claiming that the world was set to end in 1993. And the purpose of this group was to promote love
Hello.
and devotion to God so that they could be saved
Ignore what
during
we're
this
saying.
I know I just paused the video at a crucial moment. Mac, fuck him. Say hi to me. Say hi to me, Mac.
Hello.
Oh
Hi.
my gosh,
How's it
thank you.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad.
Want to be better?
I thought I was better, but after you saying that, I don't think I'm not so well right now. Okay. Let's go.
Don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro. We can get better. When? How? Just give me a kiss on my forehead. Right, just right here. Right.
Oh no, don't
Small
traumatize
streamer
me.
hater!
No, not them again.
Shouldn't have mentioned them.
Oh no, not you again! They spread their messages through song and dedicated as much time as possible to praising God before the end
There's
times.
no way you just
Child
opened a
members
second
of this
account,
group were
crazy.
not even educated
This-
because they
Just
thought it was a
fine.
waste of
They
time
have
because the
They
world
have
was
been in the
ending
server. I
soon
don't know
anyway.
if you know.
So all of the children and adults in this
I
group were
did
simply
not
sitting,
know.
hanging out, singing songs, waiting for the end of the world. Which
All
to
streamer
me
haters
doesn't
and
sound
OG
like a
to the
great time.
server.
But that's just me. Floor Edwards, a previous member of the Children of God, said this about the cult's mindset at the time. Quote, "For many it was euphoric thinking about the afterlife.
Stupid.
We earned
I
that
can't believe
spot
you made
in
a
heaven.
second
We were the
Discord
chosen
account
ones."
for a
That's
fucking
definitely
bit.
a
I
take on it.
respect the fuck
Interestingly,
out of it.
Berg wasn't seen
first of
very
all-
often by
first of
most of the
all,
cult members, as
that
at its
isn't-
peak,
that
the
isn't
group
a
had
second
over
account. Don't
10,000
ever
members
disrespect small
worldwide.
streamer
Although
hater like
he was
that.
in consistent
Fuck small
communication
streamer
with
hater.
all
I'll
of his
bend them
followers
over.
through what he
Banning-
called
I'm
Mo
banning
letters,
small
which was
streamer
essentially daily propaganda pieces, where he would take Bible
Liam,
verses
I know you're
and intertwine
lonely,
them with
but
his own
Jesus
twisted
Christ.
doctrine, which, like I mentioned earlier, evolved over time. These
Hey
Mo
man,
letters
they like
included
it though, I
instructions
swear.
that his followers must follow, and strangely enough, a lot of the imagery in these letters was rather graphic. We'll say that. According to ex-members of the Children of God, Mo wrote over 3,000 of these Mo letters, which is insane.
Mo
But these
letters?
letters weren't the only way
Molester.
that the Children of God was able to get their
Stop
message out.
blocking.
Like I
Feel
mentioned,
that.
Nick Crowley made a great video about the TV series that the Children of God had created and that was televised called Life with Grandpa, in which he describes the TV show essentially indoctrinating children into
I
the
hate
values of
whoever's
the group
doing
and
that.
the
Whoever's
religious
doing
beliefs
that.
that were unsavory, to say the
You
least.
hate him?
To really
Streamer
paint the
hater.
picture, there's a scene in the show where a woman is
You
shown
hate
as
small
a
streamer
robot
hater? You hate
with
your biggest fan?
Small streamer hater. Small streamer hater. I need you. I respect your grind, small streamer hater. Oh no! Small streamer hater, no!
Streamer hater, no, you're racist!
No, we can't. Oh no!
The betrayal!
Well, shame
Wait,
hater,
I
we
think
do.
Literal
Oh,
boost.
Favorite
And
hater has to
Grandpa,
say
aka
something.
David Berg, was talking about how much he loves this perfect woman. And there's many episodes with young girls singing
Too
about
bad,
how their
Small
purpose
Feedback
is
Kid.
to
Turn on the
cook,
soundboard.
clean, and take care of the men in their life. That is honestly just a tame sampling of some of the cool stuff in this cult's kid show. Of course, I'm using cool ironically. Now, going back to the concept of
Yeah, who was
sharing.
that?
Without
Supply,
getting
why you
too
make that
graphic,
noise, bro?
essentially, Berg was promoting love with no bounds, as he claimed that Jesus created love and sex for people to enjoy, and he thought the
thank you.
best way to honor God was to have it without limits, which to him meant with anybody at any time, consenting or not, which also included
What?
with children, which is
What?
obviously disgusting. Former members who were
Hey,
children at the time said that they
no.
felt pressured to do anything with anyone because they knew if they said no that they would be punished by God and potentially not accepted into heaven
What
when the
type of
apocalypse came,
fucking?
which was
And people joined this religion. People were like, yeah, you know, my pastor can do my kids whatever they want, so I can totally join this religion. Like, what? People were like, okay with this?
Clearly, because it
Society.
exists.
I'm concerned.
You're concerned.
Supply's getting fucked in the ass.
Now it's supposed to be a little secret.
Sorry,
Pookie.
Supply. Had to call you out, man.
Who's
Jesus,
fuck? You're
man,
you're the
like,
one
are you
fucking me in the ass.
talking
Shut up.
I'm
in
sorry!
their mind,
Bro!
this
It just
unsurprisingly
slipped
led to
in!
widespread allegations of sexual exploitation.
What?
No. Okay, story time with Tay.
You're
right?
gonna traumatize me and Mac.
I think Mac's more traumatized now, to be honest, after
Mac
that
can
comment.
never be traumatized. Me and Mac are the best of friends. Stop it. Now.
Stop
So-
it! I don't like it.
So like literally like I was chilling with my homie one time, right? And then like
Bitch, you have one?
out of nowhere his like shut up bitch. But out of nowhere out of nowhere, right? His girl was like, "Oh, I accidentally cheated." Like cuz they were talking on the phone. Like, she's like, "But I only accidentally cheated." I was like, and I got so fucking mad at that statement, right? Cuz how the fuck do you accidentally cheat? Like, you don't just like sit there and walk up on someone and be like, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
like
let's
and
fuck.
trip and like the dick just slips in. I don't know how you
Just
accidentally
on a
cheat.
banana peel.
Oh
Put on a
no!
banana peel. No!
Oh no! Someone's using their Super Mario squid power. No, I'm blind. What is that? Like,
Is that a cock?
it's oh no! A cock! Oh no! It's coming
Oh, no.
closer! Please stop it!
Why am I bending over?
Whoa! What is my hand
I
doing?
feel like this is
Whoa!
a bit too detailed. I
They
feel
pull
like
a
this is
talk
a
of
bit
me.
too
They pull
detailed.
a talk of me.
I feel like this is a bit too detailed.
What do you mean? This
We
is
can go
like
more detailed.
yeah, we
No,
can.
I'm asking you to stop.
Oh no! Why is my flap? What are my flaps doing?
Oh my god, please stop.
And abuse, of
You
course,
started it.
including
Ah,
minors.
you
The
said
children
it
of
was
God
too
faced
detailed, and
significant
he said we could
backlash
get
and
maybe more
legal
Yeah,
scrutiny
and that's
due
my
to the
sign to
reports of
please
emotional,
stop.
psychological, and sexual abuse among
Huh.
members. Although that wasn't quite enough to take it down fully. That was a bump in the road for the group. After David Berg died,
Como
his
la la
assistant,
viva
who he was
vaga
having the affairs with, took over the group and tried rebranding the group multiple times in
Put
an
the
attempt to
Minecraft
distance it
animation
from its
down.
dark past. And they even tried to renounce some of their harmful practices. However, the decades of trauma experienced by former members
Remember,
was an
Mac, you
inseparable
chose Cat
part of
here,
the
just
cult's
saying.
history.
This-
And with the
we're
death of
friends,
David, the
apparently, for some
rebrands, and
fucking
all of the
reason.
allegations, the group
First of
went
all,
from over
I'm a-
10,000
I'm a-
members
I'm a
worldwide
good
to
pick.
today being a small underground
you,
internet
though?
community. And I
Yes.
personally
Bitch, I
hope it
wouldn't even
continues
pick
to
you in
shrink to the
Overwatch
point
if
of
you were the
nothingness
fucking
very
only
soon.
tank,
I'm
dumb
sure the
fuck.
world not ending in
Why
1993
you
also
assuming I
had
would
a
be a
big
tank?
part to do with it. Interestingly,
Shut up.
multiple
Because
Why
he's
are
calling
you?
That
you
is fu-
fat.
I was going with calling me Winston, but you know that works too. Which
Also,
one?
why are you blaming me for
Why? Who
like, you
blamed you?
traumatizing him? You guys are blaming me for traumatizing Matt.
Yeah, why would
Yeah.
you? Why would you traumatize Mac like that? What's your problem?
Yeah, why'd you do that, Cat?
For y'all's information, it was Mac's idea to come into this VC, not mine.
Yeah, because Max
Oh.
loves us, and then you go and
So is
traumatize
it Mac?
him.
It's just. So what you're saying? It's Mac's own fault for Mac's
Mac was-
traumatization.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
why are you victim blaming? What the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Like we're only 11 minutes in this video, and you're victim blaming already. Like, what is your problem?
Minutes in this video.
Nothing to do with the video.
Actually, this all started
When's the
because of the video.
sponsor?
So, you know.
Oh,
Most
shut
celebrities
up.
were
Blood,
actually
blood,
involved
blood.
with
What's
this
the
cult.
sponsor of this
Notably,
video?
Joaquin Phoenix and
The
Rose
sponsor of this
McCallum.
video
Rose McCallum described
is
her experience as
baddragging.com.
extremely stressful, like she
If
was
you
walking
wanna
a
be-
high wire act. She was expected to be perfect physically and was even cut with a
I'm the
knife by
sponsor of
another
Survivor.
member
Okay, so
with
I
a
know I'm the
blemish on her
victim
finger.
here and
How
all,
Rose was
but I've
involved
been
in this group
quiet
is
this
because
whole
her
time.
father
I
was
didn't hear a
actually the
single
leader
thing
of
that's
the
happening
Italian
because I'm
branch
so
of the
focused
Children
on
of God.
getting
But
the
fortunately,
least
once the
gold
Children
this
of God
game.
started
So
promoting
See,
child
Sorry.
exactly.
abuse, her dad
Stop
separated
Wait,
from
wait,
the
what are you
family.
yapping
Joaquin
about?
Phoenix and his siblings in the 1970s were
I'm
also
playing
involved in the
Apex.
group
I'm almost
and
to
even
gold.
traveled
Fucking
through
loser.
Central and
Leave me
South
alone.
America
Man,
with the
imagine
group,
Yeah.
but
playing
didn't
fucking
remain
Apex or
members for
fucking
long,
Overwatch,
as
loser.
initially they
Imagine
thought it was
playing
a
the original
dedicated
better
religious
game,
group,
Titanfall
but
2.
found out that it was much deeper than that in
Do
that time.
you know what?
It's
I've played
upsetting enough
Titanfall
when
2 for
individuals
years,
are
and I
tricked
switched
into
to
joining
Apex
cults and
because
doing
So you
untoward things and
downgraded.
having
We're
horrible
watching a
lives.
video. I don't
But
care.
it's
I
just
don't care. I'm
downright
watching a video.
disheartening and depressing when
So
they
what
get
you're
their
saying is
children
that you
involved
downgraded.
too. Likely unsurprisingly, the
down-
Children of
Downgraded
God
my
had
ass.
a
I played that
extremely
game so
high
many times it got
suicide rate,
boring,
with
okay?
many ex-members having
Bitch, that game never gets
lifelong
boring.
trauma,
You're just a
It does
psychological
get
Two
boring,
issues,
hater,
bro.
and at the
bro.
very
When you
least,
can beat the game
horrible,
with your own
unforgettable
fist,
memories. But if
it's
you're not
pretty boring, okay?
No shit, you have to use your fucking hands, dumb fuck.
Yeah, I did a challenge to myself, man. I beat the whole game. There's parts that you have to use your guns,
Why are
yes,
you
but I
fisting your
used the
controller?
game most of my hand.
Yeah, bro,
No,
that's kind of
fisting
wild.
What?
I'm talking about the game.
Miniature bridge. I mean, oh, okay. Never mind.
We all heard him say he's fishing his controller, right?
Okay, okay. All right.
I said every name besides.
Remember,
the name
Macus, what's your
interested
idea?
in aliens, and you're not interested in
I only
any sort
brought
of
you here
religious
so you
movement,
can actually talk
what
to
if a
people
man
instead of
approached you
being
and
Yeah,
told you
while-
that
while he's
he
fishing
could
his
tell you
controller.
when you're going to die? This to anybody
warned
may
you.
seem like an interesting proposal.
Wait, so,
but
wait,
the more
hold up.
info you-
Does that mean you didn't want to hang out with his cat? Is that what you're saying?
No.
What?
Is that a
No,
no?
that's what
Is that a no that you weren't
felt
saying
bad
that,
because
or is that a
she was
no
saying-
that you don't want to hang out with us?
She was in
Up
the
for
call with me by
interpretation.
herself. She wasn't saying a single word. So I asked if she wanted to join, and she said, "If you want to, but I'm more to warn you, they're pretty loud." So I said, "Sure, I don't care. Let's do it." So I'm here. So
Probably, I'm not gonna make that joke.
I was nice enough to bring
you
you
start to
because
get,
I'm
the
boring
more
as
the
shit.
cracks start to
I
show.
didn't do
This
shit,
man referred to
so-
himself as
Sorry,
Lou Castor
Mac.
and claimed that he was 1,000 years old and he
Yeah,
was
stop
a
blaming
combination
Mac,
of
victim blamer.
3 different angels. He claimed that he had died and came back to life, and that
don't worry, we
now
got your
he
back.
himself can predict deaths accurately, among
Thank
other
you, I
things.
guess.
Potentially one of the biggest draws for some is that Lou claimed that if you were close to him, he could not only predict your death, but bring you back to life, which for most people sounds like a good reason to stick around. But on top of the claims of being resurrected, from a surface level, it looked like the members of this group lived a relatively lavish lifestyle. Lou had a compound in Wichita, Kansas, where he had 10 members of the group living with him. Everybody who was completely provided for with food, shelter, technology, toys, gadgets, ATVs, luxury vehicles, anything these members could want, they
So you're telling me I got whatever I fucking want, and all I gotta do is fucking die one day? There has to be. I want to know the catch is. Hold up. Let's figure out the catch, because there has to be a fucking. There has to be a big catch. There's no way I'm getting
The
provided.
catch is it's not real.
Yeah, the catch is not real.
Maybe the
The
catch,
catch is that you die and then you don't get any
You're
of this.
dead.
I don't get no
You're just
resurrection.
dead.
I don't get resurrected.
Yeah, you don't get
This
anything.
isn't like Destiny.
Nope.
Oh,
You don't got no ghost.
I got all the ghosts. Shut the fuck up.
had, and it was
you
all
got
provided
nothing.
for by Lou.
Show
But
me
interestingly
your
enough,
ghost.
nobody knew what
Show
Lou
me
did
your
for work.
ghost.
He said he
Show
had
me this
stocks
man's
and bonds
balls.
and a cattle
That
ranch
sounds
down in
so
Texas,
wrong.
but nobody could directly pinpoint his wealth, and it didn't
Prove it,
seem
show
like
me your
anybody was
ghost.
extremely concerned because they were directly benefiting
you
from it,
fucking
although it
thingamabob.
definitely
Prove it, show
came
me
with
your
a
ghost.
price. Having a 10-person commune with luxury vehicles in Wichita, Kansas, it definitely drew attention. But for this cult, that wasn't an issue. And Lou was an active participant in the community. He would donate to the police,
What?
have community-wide barbecues in his backyard, and even had an ATV track on his
Those
10-acre
Stream
property
Raiders
where anybody could come and
gone, and I
enjoy the
didn't even
track.
do
This
anything.
sense of community definitely allowed people to feel a little bit more comfortable, and
Also,
I think
I'm-
people
I'm
assumed
about-
that
I'm
if
about to
he had
freak
something
out.
to hide, he wouldn't be
Psycho's
so
literally been
flashy,
asking
which
to
may
play
seem reasonable, but you could also
Overwatch,
say this is more or
and
less
yet
of
he's
a
on the
John Wayne
game,
Gacy
but he
approach.
won't
But here's the
respond.
thing. Behind closed doors, unspeakable things were happening, and although on the
He's playing
surface it seemed like an outgoing, luxury lifestyle of cool people just having fun, it was really anything but that once you got to the core of the group. When Angel's Landing went from Texas to Wichita, Kansas, they actually gained 3 new members.
no.
Lou's real estate
Oh,
agent and
no,
2
that's
young
not the
daughters.
person I wanted
This
to
real
meet.
estate agent sold Lou the property, and
supplemental,
upon
yes.
meeting him, she felt very compelled to not only be close to him, but
You would
protect
join the
him.
second
And
he
he
said he
shortly
wanted to
after
be
confessed to
protected.
her that he was an angel. Because of this information,
I'm
this
not
real estate
confused,
agent
sorry.
uprooted herself and her 2 young daughters from Missouri to Wichita, Kansas to join the commune, leaving her husband and her children's father behind. I'm assuming you can guess where this is going. It ended up with Lou
Left her
assaulting and
whole
abusing
husband
both
for-
of these young girls. But not only that,
Damn!
combining it with mental manipulation to
again
make
just
them
to
feel like
chat.
it was almost normal, which it obviously wasn't at all.
Jeez
In 2003, the
Louise,
story got a lot
man.
more
Yeah, right now.
publicized, as one of the members living in the commune had passed away. This member had
His 2
seemingly fallen,
viewers.
hit their head, and then fell into the pool, which caused them to drown and die, which
What?
obviously
Right.
got a lot
Like
of
that.
attention, but wasn't necessarily considered
What?
suspicious, at least not legally. The death aligned with
them
most
just long lost
accidental drowning
father.
deaths and was not considered for having any foul play. Although that didn't mean that there wasn't any questions stirring about this commune within the community. At this time, unbeknownst to Lou and the rest
Well,
of the
that ain't
commune,
gonna be
the
no
police
child
were
support for
actually
me.
closely monitoring the commune,
This
but
is
not
what
for the
he's
reasons you
doing
may
with
have
his
thought.
life.
They were being monitored by the narcotics department because Lou had
surprised
unexplained
you
wealth, and their assumption was that there was an illegal drug operation or something along those lines
Walter!
funding this
I already
10-acre
seen this,
ranch with
fucking thing
seemingly unlimited
recently,
money.
this
And with the
photo,
news breaking
where
of
it's
this
like
death on the
Photoshop
property,
can now
some members in the
detect
community
other
had their own
extra
questions
Photoshop
as well.
stuff.
This member that they
And they just
lost was
showed a
considered
photo
to
of
be
the black
the
family,
mother
the
of the
entire
group, and
dad
she
was
was
highlighted.
Lou's right-hand woman. And it was a tragic loss within the group and outside of the group, as she was somebody that people looked up to, and at least had a
Just like,
positive
yeah.
relationship with,
Yeah, it's not
publicly.
wrong, though.
Following the death of the member who passed away in the pool, the other members of the group were waiting for Lou
left
to
the
bring
family
her back,
function.
as
He
he
was never
claimed that
there.
this was a ability of
Real
his.
shit.
And after some time
Only a
passed, Lou
photo.
changed his story and claimed that
Yeah.
he doesn't want to bring
Chopped
Patricia
in.
back. Lou claimed that where Patricia is now is much better than where we are, and that our goal is to meet her where she's at and not to bring her back
Yeah, we'll
here.
shop
And
in
I
Texas and
suppose
we're
that
gonna
was
get
a
dads, they buy
satisfactory
one.
response to some of the members.
Really?
And although the
Fish.
Okay,
With
okay,
inflation, it's more
okay,
expensive to buy back now.
okay. Okay, so you're telling me
Fish father.
motherfucker told all his fucking and y'all and they fell for it? This is how I know this is why I know people are fucking stupid. I don't care. Oh
Bro,
wow.
look who's talking!
What do you mean look who's talking? I'm a sea bunny. Sea bunnies can't be stupid.
Bitch, you're
They are
dumber than a fucking rock! I could have more intelligent conversations with a fucking inanimate object than you!
Actually, sea bunnies are smaller than rocks, so I'm not like a rock.
I'd find a
I'm
British
better than a
person
rock.
smarter than you. That's to say something. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
You are a British person. You're an island
Fuck
Brit.
off, monkey.
You're an island Brit. Shut up.
Fuck no.
An
I'm not
island
Pom.
British?
Cat's
I'm
more
gonna
Pom than
beat
I
your
am, and she's American.
stupid ass cunt.
I am trying to watch a YouTube video. You're interrupting my YouTube. Like,
No,
do you
okay.
see
Trying
that?
to
It's
watch
paused.
YouTube. Shut the fuck up.
Why would you say that to me?
I
know
mean,
how
I am
feel.
half British, so I am
Yeah, exactly. Cat's more
technicality.
Pom than us.
I don't know, man. I feel like a few Brits got trapped on an island and
Why the
now they're
fuck
Australian.
Is bro's name Goon? Spelt like, Gooner. What the fuck? Bro's a Gooner.
These fuckers are from
scared.
Australia. Monty, these fuckers are from Australia. Don't worry about them. They're kind of crazy. It's okay. Why are you scared?
Hey,
What do
you
you
ain't on
mean?
there.
You're
Never
just
cut
mad that
down
we just built better than you, mate.
No, I'm sorry that your mayor's your fucking neighbor, so of course you're doing fucking better to you. Like, there's no one out there. Shut up.
He's not, though.
You know what? Back to the
If
fuck
he
you.
was, I'll
Fuck
probably
you.
dump the dog.
Fuck you.
Fuck Albo.
the death was ruled as
Can't hear you.
accidental, the FBI was
Done, though.
interested,
if
to say the
fucking-
least.
if
They
the
began
ma-
looking
the
into a
fucking
Lou
PM was
Castro
my
and
neighbor,
realized that
I'll
there is no
fucking
record
jump
of
the
this
dog.
person
Yeah,
existing.
yeah,
No
yeah. See
documents,
that?
no
You
birth
see that?
certificate, no driver's
Magic.
license.
Dead
They were
ass.
dealing with a ghost. Until they found
We'll fucking
one
jump
piece
the
of
dog.
information
I'm
referencing the
sorry.
name.
Yeah,
This was an obituary for a woman he used to live with in a
I like
previous
guns, so
smaller
F
commune.
them.
This woman had passed away with her new boyfriend and daughter during a leisure flight, and unfortunately, shortly
You know
after
what?
takeoff,
Type shitty,
this
Monty.
entire group
Type
passed
shitty.
away. It's an interesting side note, but Lou
What, the
was
entire
previously
group?
a plane mechanic. That again was ruled as an accidental death. But the coincidences are starting to kind of fall apart here. 3 years after the death of the woman in the pool, her husband, another member of Angel's Landing, was killed as well. He was working on his car and laying underneath a vehicle when his jack failed, crushing and killing him. The unfortunate and tragic death of this second member of Angel's Landing was a pivotal moment in discovering the truth. Like I mentioned, the Angel's Landing group was already under investigation secretly by the FBI and local authorities. But once 2 accidental deaths took place within 3 years, they cranked up their search and began looking at alternative means of information. And one thing they found that cracked this case wide open was the insurance payouts on these group members. Both Patricia, the woman who died in the pool, and her husband, who died under the car years later, had large life insurance policies, both of which specifically paying out to the Angel's Landing group, which was 100% controlled by Lou Castro. Each of these policies paid out over $1.2 million. And suddenly, things are starting to make a lot of sense. Somebody who's able to predict deaths and then have them magically happen. Somebody
Y'all are
has
niggers.
accidental
Like, I meant bad people.
Oh, speaking of racism.
You know Michael Jackson?
deaths magically follow him around, and
Wait,
somebody
you're
who
white and
has an
black?
unexplainable amount of wealth, but no source of income.
Yeah.
All now starts to make a lot more sense when you realize that there may be some foul play going on here. But in case that's not enough to make you convinced that there was something really strange going on in this cult, 2 years after the husband of the initial woman who died passed away, there was a third death
Do you know
within the
how
group. It was
Michael
the
Jackson
death
had
of the
that
real
voice
estate
that turned
agent
him
who
from black to
moved
white?
into the commune to protect him. The
disease
same
as
woman
well.
that had
Ariana
2
Grande
young daughters.
used to be way more darker.
What are
And now
y'all
she, like, fucking
talking
white
about?
as
No,
a
she
fucking
was white. No,
ghost.
she was white. She was white, and now she's. That's why I said doing an Ariana Grande is just a reverse fucking.
What are y'all talking about? How Ariana Grande used to be white, yes, but she used to also
No
be
shit.
yes, but she used to also be dark. But she switched back during like Victoria, she was white, and then she got darker, then she became Ariana, like the Asian Ariana.
Asian Ariana?
Yes, no, this is actual Ariana lore.
Races like Pokemon. What the fuck?
The fuck is this fucking?
There's a
celebrity?
few black people on shows. I know a few.
She's collecting the Infinity Stone of racism.
No, Ariana Grande quite literally has turned
Racism.
different fucking races. This nigga
Fuck.
said the fucking Infinity Stones of fucking racism.
Dog, I need to catch up.
You need to do something. Ignore that.
In the group. Lou
not
got
going
her
to
2
ignore
young
that,
daughters
'cause I don't
together
know
and
the
told
fucking
them
kid.
that it was her mother's time and that she was going to die shortly. Obviously, they were extremely upset and didn't want to believe it, and they told their mom. And their mom didn't seem
No.
too phased and reassured them that she wasn't going anywhere and that she was going to be fine.
Collection
But
of
unfortunately,
bosses.
2 days later, she passed away in a horrible car accident. And at that point, detectives were no longer allowing this to go on anymore.
you just
Once
say you have
again, a
them
life
all, you
insurance
do.
payout was due to hit Lou's account any day.
Shit.
And coincidentally, the previous balance was getting pretty low from the last
Yeah.
payout.
Exactly.
It's almost like this was how he
Natural
was
born
funding his
racist,
lifestyle.
bro.
Why'd you say
At this
yeah,
point,
like-
detectives
wait,
were
you're
just
like-
going
my
to his
name.
property and
That's
had
not-
a unique plan to collect fingerprints to
No,
try to
I
get
don't
more
care.
information. They knocked on Lou's door and they told him that they were looking for information on local criminals and had pictures of criminals that they wanted him to potentially identify. The detectives entered his home and were starting to show him pictures, hoping to get fingerprints on the photographs. But they noticed that Lou was only grabbing these photos with his fingernails, meaning that he knew what was going on and that they were not
Sure,
going to get
Fred.
any
Sure,
fingerprints.
buddy,
Eventually, they
sure.
were able to get him on charges of bank fraud, but
believe ya, we
realized that they
believe ya.
needed to get him on these murders if they wanted him to serve any substantial time. And at this point, the stars almost aligned, because the eldest of the 2 young girls who were a part of his
no, I
group
heard
at
it
this
was
point was an
people.
adult, and had
Yeah,
met a
well,
man
it was
who
you people
shortly
as
became her
well.
boyfriend. Not long into dating, they had a moment, and she opened up to him about everything. And that night when she went to bed, he went to the FBI website
people.
and
You
informed them
people.
about everything that was going on in this strange
you
cult in
people.
Wichita. Surprisingly, they were
You
quick to
motherfuckers are
respond,
people,
collected
right?
her statement, and began a full-blown investigation on all of these claims. At this point, they were
No,
able
we
to speak to the younger
aliens,
daughter
bruh.
as well,
We
where they were able to
aliens,
collect
bruh.
all the information
You're
they needed
Mexican.
to put this man away for
Exactly,
a
I'm not
serious
wrong.
amount of time. During this
Shit.
Lou person's trial, it was
Fuck up,
revealed that
man.
his
You don't
name
know what
isn't
you're
Lou
talking
at all, and that was only one of his many aliases, and that his name is Daniel Perez,
got a
and he
point,
has
I
an
guess.
extensive
Fuck.
history of sexual abuse and much more. And the result of this trial
My fault, gang.
Damn, Daniel. Imagine trusting a nigga named Daniel. I don't know, man. I wouldn't even trust a nigga named Lou. Someone come up.
Yeah,
Ty.
I was about to say, like, you went much better.
See, y'all don't even know my name. Y'all said it fucking wrong, you jackass. So
Wait, your name's Tyrone.
okay.
Trial happened in 2015 when Daniel Perez, aka Lou Castro, was sentenced with 80 years in prison. Unfortunately, all of the deaths involving Angel's Landing
No,
were
this is
still
how you
ruled
pronounce-
accidental,
this is how
but they
you
did have a
pronounce it,
strong
alright?
enough
You
case
ready?
through all of the other crimes to put him away for the rest of his life. Okay, I know this is a cult video and not a true crime video, but for Angel's Landing specifically, the beliefs were rather simple. And it
Chat, we're
wasn't even
ignoring them.
super religious, honestly. This mysterious,
Wait,
wealthy
wait,
man
supply,
just claimed that he
deadass,
was an
no way I've
angel
still
and
actually
could
guessed that.
predict deaths and save people near him if they did die. And he also required intimacy
is a
with
yes, bro.
children to maintain his powers. Although
What?
in reality, he was just a pedophile who was killing his own cult members for insurance payouts to fund his lifestyle. So the religious beliefs are simple, but the
purely
lore
fucking
of the
dead,
actual
so bad.
story is insane.
French
And I thought you guys would
version.
appreciate
You have the most
this history.
stereotypical fucking
I know we
black
focused on a
person
lot of
name, bro.
mind-bending, twisted, pseudo-religious, disgusting beliefs, so I wanted to
You
kind of focus on
genuinely
the
have the most
reality of the life in
stereotypical
these
fucking
cults in
name.
this story. But the
His
more
name is
research I
not
did, the more
Leon,
invested I
right?
got in this story.
You guys
And,
don't
well,
know my
here we go.
name.
Before
Y'all
we
don't
get
even
into
know
the
my
last
actual
cult
name.
of this video, I just want to say that it is the
Tyrone.
What is it?
What is it? Tell me what my name is.
Monkey.
Okay, nigger.
unfortunate reality that there is so many crazy and scary cults that have existed and still exist to this day. And although I hand selected a few for this first video, I do have a sizable number of other cults I do want to discuss, although I didn't want to make this video
Yeah, shit,
extremely
he's got a
long
point
in
there,
case it
Vlad.
wasn't something you guys were interested in.
Yeah, stop talking.
Let's get into our final cult of this video at least. Let's say that you have absolutely
can I
no
double-
interest
can I
in
double your
any sort
racism
of
and pass
religious
on to the
group
next
at
person?
all. Let's just say that you're interested in history. And let's say that maybe you found a particular
say
interest
the
with
hard
the
R
Knights
twice.
Templar, the Catholic
Megatron
military
is
group tasked
fucking
with
crazy.
protecting the Holy Grail.
Fuck you,
Perhaps that's an
buddy.
area of interest for you. Well, what if you were approached by some individuals who claimed to be the descendants of that military group and claimed to hold their ideals and then some? You may be interested in hearing them out. And what if these people claimed to you that not only were they the descendants of the Knights Templar, but one of the members was also the reincarnation of Moses from the Bible and King
Damn,
Tut's
it's like I
dad?
was talking to
At that
Supply
point,
before he
you're
fucking
likely
fixed it.
gone, but let's say you're still a little interested. But here's the catch. Even if you're potentially interested in hearing them out, you have to be approved. Specifically through a sizable donation,
What's
as
that?
this cult
Another viewer
is
joined?
a
You know,
pretty
that means time
elitist
to
group
take a shot.
with a group size at its peak of only around 300 to 400 members. So
Chewbacca
unless you
fitting,
were
Chewbacca
really
fitting,
wealthy,
Chewbacca
you weren't
fitting.
even able to hear them out because they
Time to
believed that
make-
only the
time to
richest were
make
even
60
worthy of
accounts.
hearing their message. This was the message of the Order of the Solar Temple, a Neo-Templar movement and a cult. This group had members in
care if you
Canada,
make 60
Switzerland,
accounts
and
as long as you
France. One of
follow
the
me on
founders
every
of this
single
cult
one of them.
actually
That's
had
just
a
more- that's
child
more
with another
followers for
cult
me.
member and
So-
believed that this child
No,
was a
even if
perfect
it's
child
like
and that
you,
it was a
but
higher
You're gonna
being,
make 60
and that
accounts
any
and not
children that
even
were
back
tapping
me
into
up?
the
Like,
cult
what
would
the
be higher
fuck?
beings as well too to help his daughter on her purpose. The cult grew and grew, and over time there was a lot of mismanagement happening between the two founders who didn't speak much about the direction of the cult. One leader was focusing on the inner workings of the cult, specifically the meditations, ceremonies, and day-to-day management, and the other leader was focused on the recruitment process, essentially running seminars and spreading the message of their special little group. Because this cult required very
they
significant
racist?
financial backing, members started to become
Yes.
uneasy on where their money was going, as the cult
Yes.
seemed to have
All I
not been
hear is
growing as much
yes
as
in
it
the
once was.
background. What
And
the
this
fuck?
perfect higher-level baby was now a
Leave that
teenager.
bird
She was
back.
starting to rebel against her own father as well. And in 1991, one of the ex-members
Big Brother
actually
line
sued the
supply.
group, which definitely started to show the writing on the wall for this elitist cult. And the next year, in 1992, one of the cult leaders was actually arrested for trying to buy illegal firearms in Canada,
did
which
somebody
is
in
some
chat just
unfortunate
say, "Are
foreshadowing
there
for what's
black
about to happen.
people in
Later that year, people were
Australia?
becoming more and more restless as not only were they unsure about where their money was going, but at this point there was so many unfulfilled spiritual promises that people were starting
Mon, if
to
you're still here,
not
why don't you
believe
just join
any
the
of the claims
fucking
of these
cult
cult
and-
leaders. This is where things get dark. As the cult was beginning to
So you can,
crumble and they
like,
were losing members
talk
and
to people.
backing, they felt that they needed to
Instead of
figure
being
out
a
something
weirdo and just
quick.
sitting there.
And they decided that they needed to have a transition within their movement. This was a transition to another world. At this point, they began to prepare themselves and certain high-ranking people within the Solar Temple that they believed would be highly favored in this new world, aka people that they probably thought they could manipulate.
Who's dead
While
now?
they were prepping their members about how to transition into this new world, they were also planning how they would get revenge for those who they felt
I'm saying if you want, you can join the Discord call and you can talk to my chat directly instead of having to type it. Granted, you are boosting my algorithm when you type, but I don't care.
betrayed them, aka people who saw through the lies and
Small streamer
the
hater,
spree
please.
of
Sorry.
this cult's
I'm sorry,
revenge,
please.
starting with highly ranking cult members showing up at the door of previous cult members and stabbing their 5-month-old baby in the heart, as the leader of the Solar Temple claimed that this baby was the Antichrist, when in reality, the parents of this baby, who were also murdered in this horrific event, were simply people who didn't listen to the Solar Temple's demands, which were that they didn't get
Oh, I
married
may have
and
sent the
didn't have this
message
baby
that-
because it wasn't what
that,
the higher
is
beings wanted.
being
It was
mod
essentially a power
blocked.
struggle that these former members were no longer interested in playing into. After this horrific murder, there was other
That's
instances
gonna
of
stay
strange murder
mod
suicides
blocked.
until
That's
one of
gonna
the most
stay mod
insane events
blocked.
associated with this cult happened. On the 5th of October in 1994, 23 people were found dead in a burning chalet in Switzerland. Their bodies were arranged in a circle, and they were all wearing ceremonial robes. After this mass death event, which was more murder than suicide, as most of the participants in this group didn't realize that they were going to be killed and
The hard R
left in a
triple
building that would be
trillion
set on
times.
fire. Regardless, in total, 74 people died over the course of the multiple
Two-part Benny,
murders and
two-part
mass murder suicides that happened because of the order of the Solar Temple. And it's not even known how many of
Hey,
these
fuck
deaths
my
were
phone.
suicides and how many of these deaths
Hey.
were murders. Because the founders of this cult were killed in these rituals and any of the remaining members went into hiding, the authorities were stumped at what to do because there was nobody to charge and not much
All
that
I'm
they could
saying
do,
is-
as most of the
California.
participants were gone as well.
Saying
The result was an
California.
extremely
All I'm saying is,
strengthened
if you enter a
anti-cult
murder,
movement
if you
in
enter a
Europe,
suicide pact
specifically
with a
in
cult,
Francophone Europe.
that's
As
your
this
fault,
event was
and you
extremely
deserved everything
publicized,
you
the
got.
word was finally out about the danger
wild,
that can be
bro.
caused by cults. I suppose the one true silver lining about cults is the fact that they always seem to be self-imploding, although even a few moments of existence for the cults that I mentioned today are longer than they should have ever existed. None of these people needed to be hurt psychologically.
Yeah, now you're just yapping. Sorry. W video. W video. Good news, not fake news. Not fake news. Oh, the cool kid gets set on fire to elite cult and screw. You know what? That's facts. That is facts. If
Excuse
you're let's go see what else we can watch. Let's see what else we got on our list.
Can I watch you?
Stop trying to watch me, Pookie.
What?
It's gay.
I'm sorry. Just so sexy, you know?
Oh my god. Yes, we're watching
Guy's
this.
still here? Okay, good.
We're watching this. We're watching this one.
Would've been funny.
I've been meaning to
What?
watch this one. I fucking love Jay Schlatt.
My name is
bro.
Schlatt, and teleportation is the greatest superpower ever invented. And I'm joined today by Jane Animation, who thinks transformation is the right one.
You know, teleportation has like one positive thing, but I
Mm-mm.
think transformation
Mm-mm.
is just way too versatile to pass up.
Way too versatile. Teleportation.
What are you yapping about?
Okay, so which one do I think would be better? I didn't turn on my. These niggas don't even know what we're fucking watching. Here, fuckers. Don't say I didn't do anything for you, nigga. You would like that. You would like that, wouldn't you?
Fuck.
Now, which one would I think is better? Yo, what the fuck, Imani? Don't agree with small streamer hater. Now, who do I think would be That's my sister, by the way. My own sister's agreeing with fucking a fucking
How will
AI.
you?
Like, what the fuck?
An AI.
Yeah. All I hear is you typing the small streamer hater. Okay, so here's what I gotta say, right? Teleportation versus transformation. Transformation is obviously the better power. Because if I could transform,
so.
it is. It fucking most definitely is. What do you mean it's not?
For a grape, yeah.
Motherfucker just wants to fuck some kind of animal.
First of all, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with fucking animals. Granted, that would be.
Shut up,
That's weird. That's weird.
Granite.
Fucking now.
Look, if I can transform into anything, morals like that go out the window. First of all, but I wouldn't want to do that. If I could transform into anything, because if I can transform into anything, I don't really need a teleport. Like, why would I need a teleport when I can just transform into a bee and get into somewhere where I can teleport? Like, come on now, I can transform into anything.
Are you, bro? No one else would be able to teleport. It will just be you, dumb fuck.
Okay, you dumb fuck. That's not the what the fuck.
It literally takes 0 time, 0 energy.
Okay, in transformation, like that's and I had this more versatile. It's more versatile. What can I do? Oh wow, it is. What can you do with teleporting that I can't do with transformation?
Teleport.
Wow, I can turn into
You
a
can literally
bee.
teleport
I
to
can turn
anywhere
into
within
a
an
fucking bee. I can
instant.
turn into a bee. Take everything
That
out the
still
fucking
uses
shit.
energy.
Oh,
It still
you
takes
don't think
time and
teleporting?
effort
You
to
don't think
fly,
teleporting would take
retard?
no energy? You don't think teleporting would take energy?
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
A significant reduction.
Okay,
It's actually.
okay, chat.
If
Okay,
I'm looking for a bullet into my head.
bees don't teleport, but if I'm a bee, I can literally just fly through the fucking vents. Like, you act like vault like sick.
That's crazy.
Goofy
I
ass
can just
nigga is
teleport
crazy. Why can
instantly
you
to it
say
without needing to
nigga,
work
but
for
small
the
streamer
fucking
hater
flying.
couldn't say nigga? Like what? that word got blocked for small streamer hater. But okay, it's like this. If I can transform, I can transform into fucking anything. I mean, I can turn my molecules into something very fucking small. I can turn into an amoeba, and then just go through fucking like shit. Transformation is much more versatile.
It's not though.
It is. All you can
It's
do is
really
with
not.
teleportation. All you can do is from point A to point B. Transformation, I can turn into anything
At an infinite rate.
at an infinite rate. Who said that? It required. Do you know how much energy it would
There's
require?
no fucking cooldown, spastic.
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? First of all,
How the fuck do you know there's no fucking immense pain for fucking transforming your entire fucking
how do you know there's
molecules
no?
and atoms
How the
into
fuck
a
do you
fucking
know there's
thing?
no immense pain for fucking transmuting your fucking molecules from one place to another? That might hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
You know matter cannot be destroyed or fucking created. You are literally somehow removing matter from yourself to become a fucking bee.
Okay.
Exactly.
Why would it be permanent if I can transform? What the fuck is wrong with you?
What the fuck's wrong, bro? You're rage baiting.
Look at Beast Boy. Look at Beast Boy. Look at Beast Boy. For instance,
Bro's rage baiting.
no, Beast Boy versus fucking deadass. Beast Boy versus Nightcrawler. There is a reason why Beast Boy would fucking rock
rage
Nightcrawler. I'm not rage baiting. It's just facts. You're just
Bro is
stupid.
actually
You're
rage
just
baiting.
stupid. You're just stupid. I'm sorry that you're stupid.
There's no way bro's actually rage baiting.
No. Teleportation's a shit power. I'm sorry. Either way, I'm going back to the video. I'm going back to the video.
You go anywhere.
You're just
How's
mad
that
you
not
lost the
versatile?
argument.
That's your
retard.
one trope. That's your one thing. You're
Exactly!
Like, oh, I'll go
Jada's
somewhere. and
saying
then
it.
what?
What else do you need?
What do you have to travel to that is so important?
Work?
You work from home.
The DMV? The grocery store?
What's the extent of your teleportation powers?
You
Like,
can go. Okay, teleportation. You go anywhere at any time instantly.
What do you take with you? I imagine your clothes, and then what else?
Okay, let's say you can take one item with you, and then all your clothes, so you don't wind up somewhere naked.
Okay, that's fair.
And there's no recharge, so you just hop around. You go back wherever.
Okay, he
You
said
just-
there's no
you
recharge.
teleport,
Okay,
you
fair
teleport.
enough.
And now
There's no
what's
recharge here.
transformation?
I
Okay,
figured
bet.
you could turn into like any creature, any human.
Any human?
Yeah, why not?
Fuck. Okay.
That
That's
power
an
is more.
organism. It's a
That
living
power is
organism.
more
Yeah, no, that's fair, that's fair.
versatile.
Yeah.
Now this is obviously
It's
not as
not.
good.
Why?
It's obviously not as good. The first thing you think of, and I think you and me both know this
I
world
can
very
turn
well.
to any
crime.
creature.
Yeah,
You ever
I
think
can
about
turn
doing
into
crime?
any
Occasionally,
fucking
I
person.
suppose.
What kind of crime?
just a little.
And she didn't say it, but I'm at it. If I could turn to any creature and any person, I could turn to anything.
So basically just altering the deal.
Okay, fine. We'll go with what she said.
altered the
Fine,
deal.
fine,
Don't
fine,
alter it
fine,
again.
fine. Either way.
I'm gonna teleport my fucking cock in your throat in a damn second, Supplied. I know you would.
Hold up, let me delete some shit. Yeah, bots, get deleted, bitch. But either way, my point is, right? Porn bot is fucking crazy. My point is, if I can turn into anything, right? Right? Yeah, transformation might hurt more. I'm not gonna lie. You're right. It might hurt more, but they didn't say that. That's not part of the deal. They never said it hurts. So, whamp whamp. Either way, I'm pretty sure teleportation would consume more energy than transmuting my DNA.
Would it though? It literally wouldn't.
It takes a lot of energy to transform.
Bro, you can wake up.
Do you
at
know how?
fucking-
Do you know how much
at
energy?
8 o'clock in
Do you
the
know how much?
morning.
Do you know how much
You can
energy?
wake up at 7:55.
Do you know how we had to?
Get
Do you know how much energy it
and
would take to
fucking
teleport?
to work. You're on lunch break. You could just go home, jerk off like 30 minutes, go back to work.
Fucking trying to jerk
one's
off
the
on their
wiser.
lunch break.
I don't fucking know, bro. You would.
Why is that your idea of a
'Cause
good
you're a
time, you fucking
spastic
weirdo?
cunt.
You fucking weirdo. Okay,
Because you're
look.
fucking
Look,
spastic.
if I can teleport, I can quite literally. I can Widley? I can like turn into a Minecraft man.
If I saw that shit, I would fucking
Chicken
shoot you in the
Petty
skull.
crime.
Possibly. What kind of crime are you thinking of?
I'm thinking felony level crime.
What felonies are you wanting to pull?
Bank robberies,
Uh-huh.
tax fraud, murder. I could easily kill so many people with teleportation. It would be so easy
would be
for me to
easier
kill
with
anybody
fucking-
and as
If
many
I wanted, I could
people as
easily.
possible. I
You
could
can
murder
kill
so
more. You can kill more people with fucking. You can kill more people with with transformation than you can kill with teleportation.
You stupid.
No.
Why
You can literally
why are we
teleport
talking
behind their
about
neck, teleport to the next person, teleport to the next person.
Eventually,
instantaneously.
someone's gonna see your face, and then they're gonna know who's doing it. I can
If you move
I
fast
can
enough,
change
no,
my.
and wear your balaclava, no. You
Look.
leave no trace except for the trace on
Yeah,
the body.
yeah, you know when you don't
Well,
leave a
if you
trace.
fucking
If I
attack
can,
them
if
as
I
a
can
fucking
change,
animal, you leave full complete DNA trace.
they don't get my DNA because if I can transform, my DNA transforms with me.
There's literally nothing
Look,
they can do.
okay,
They cannot contain you.
yeah, but if you can teleport, if you're teleporting, you can't heal yourself. If I can transform, I can heal myself because if I transform from one creature to another,
Yeah, I can. It's called going to a fucking hospital, Spaz.
you think they're gonna heal you if you're a fucking international criminal?
Dog, I see them. I even see
Oh,
them.
okay,
shooting. I
okay.
can
Many
tell
of
them.
them.
That makes you happy.
Alright,
That's what you
yeah.
wanted. That's what you
Yeah.
want to
I'm
do.
saying it could be useful if I needed to, and that's why it's
Well, actually,
better.
rage
You have to
bait,
like
dog.
transform. If you want to kill somebody, what do you have to do?
Turn into bear.
Turn into a bear.
Oh, lion. I'll just turn into a simple
The
lion.
bear has to go there, and then there's a chance that you die. Teleportation.
shit,
I'm in.
good
I'm out.
point.
I'm in with my knife.
What is this danger situation?
I'm in with my gun. That is loaded now. I
No.
a little finicky when I
Oh
put the
my
switch on.
god!
The gun is a little finicky?
Oh yeah.
You're
Oh,
literally
yeah.
telling
Jesus
something
You don't know what
somebody
it's
is hearing
sometimes.
inside of
Alright.
them. You're putting a lot of matter into a lot of matter. They go,
my god, this motherfucker's
it's
just.
like fucking what's his name from fucking what's his show?
Did you just say you're
Fucking
putting?
A-Train
it-
from
okay.
The Boys.
Okay, you're
Be like
you're
that.
if teleporting requires teleporting requires more energy than transforming, by far. It does. I am teleporting my matter. Do you know how much energy? There's a reason why instant transmission is not a thing right now. It requires more matter than a nuke. It requires
Yeah,
more energy
sure,
than a
sure.
nuke. It
Yeah,
requires
sure,
more
that's the
energy
reason.
than no.
Not
It is.
because it's the fucking science is so far out in the fucking future. If it even is scientifically fucking possible. Let's use a fucking Einstein.
We have
Rosen bridge
cloning.
Like a fucking
We
world
require
map.
cloning. You know, we can look this up right now. 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 How much energy?
Yeah, I know. I picked up as well, but this is all hypotheticals. And he wants to go like that. That's fucking.
Okay, then I could just transform into like increments of tiny animal to big animal. But at the same time, if I'm teleporting a big distance, depending on how, no matter what, transmuting matter from one place to another requires so much fucking energy. It requires more than a nuke. Look, nerd, you're not a bigger nerd than me, so I win either way. So shut up. All I'm saying is you're wrong.
Bro, started losing an argument and goes, shut up, nerd. You're not a bigger nerd than me.
Because you're wrong. You're wrong. Because you're wrong. You're wrong. It would require way more energy. No, because you don't even need to change all your DNA. You know how much DNA we share with most of the animals around us?
This guy is not. Show me this man's balls.
Nigga, show me your statistics. And I gave you more reasoning. It takes a lot of matter. If you want,
I'm gonna make you show that you don't fucking matter to anyone.
Teleportation. There's a reason. No, because teleportation moves at light speed, and moving at light speed requires. No, teleportation is faster than light speed.
Oh.
It's faster than light speed. Yes, you are. You're still traveling. You're instantaneously moving matter from one place to a fucking another, which is still traveling. Just because you're not like what? What type of dick are you smoking?
It's not fucking. It doesn't tell you what kind of teleportation is. A typical idea of teleportation is more of a wormhole, not.
Yes, and do you know how much energy it requires to keep open a wormhole? A lot. Yes, it requires energy. Yeah, everything in this world requires energy.
The universe does it by itself. You just have the ability to control.
Nigga, what type of fucking universal logic are you on? That would require energy, and that's gonna require more energy than a fucking nuke.
It just gives you the ability to tell the universe where to put it. That's it. It doesn't require any energy from you. The universe decides it for you.
You're smoking dick.
And what are you smoking?
I'm smoking that good za. You're smoking dick.
I would love to have some.
Like you got cock-filled brain, cause like you're really bugging right now. Nobody. What type of fucking wormhole logic are you on? Like there's no logic. There's no science behind your logic at all.
There's no science behind yours.
No, there is. There fucking is.
Bitch, we're talking in hypotheticals.
Yes, we are
None
typing in
of this
hypotheticals.
Is scientifically possible.
None of this is scientifically possible. But if it was possible, actually no, teleportation is scientifically possible. We just don't have the power to do it yet. Do you know how much energy it takes to keep open a wormhole? A lot. That's a lot of energy that the world's giving off.
Oh.
Yes.
I am having a stroke.
Yes. Prove I haven't.
We'll be good, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Teleportation. I teleport in with that thing.
Yeah.
I appear.
Where's Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Goodbye. I'm gone.
What benefit is this? You're using this power for just straight up evil. What?
If we ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's gonna agree with me. I'm not gonna lie. He is.
He's literally an astrophysicist.
He would.
In an interview on this where he literally said that.
Show me. You know what? I'm gonna come back to the server. Hold up. Show me.
I know what he would
Show
say.
me.
I know what he
Show
would
me.
say.
Show me where he would say.
I don't know if I can fucking find this shit.
Go find it then. You brought it up. This is your point of logic to prove. Show me. I hate this nigga.
Anything. You can be a hitman.
What's the good? What can you use it for?
What
good?
are you gonna do for good? You just said I turn into bear and kill somebody. I could kill so many people.
Yes.
In seconds. It would be so easy. How many people could you kill?
Why would I want to kill people? This isn't how many people can I kill with this awesome superpower.
Stop virtue signaling. You would kill somebody.
I would kill someone for the greater good of the people.
Exactly. And is that a bad thing?
I don't think that's up for me to judge.
Okay, what is something you could use transformation to be good at?
You can go to maybe a little kindergarten, a little daycare, turn into a cute little rabbit, and make all the people, all the little kids happy.
Rabbit.
Yeah, turn them into you can just make a fun little zoo. A little zoo where the animal doesn't destroy all the people.
Facts.
Where you're one
all
animal.
I'm saying is, not to mention, teleportation it's not better for humanity than transformation would be.
What do you mean? Yes, it would be.
I'm just saying, which one's the better superpower? No, the point is, which one's the better superpower? And transformation's better by far. That's why you said selfish wrong the first time, jackass.
Bro, you were built like a shellfish. Shut the fuck up, Supply.
Animal. And it's just you in a zoo with people watching and you're trudging in mission and you're just shape-shifting all day?
Now I can turn into like what, a deer and have people ride on little deer.
It sounds absolutely miserable.
It's for the good of the people.
You're just gonna turn into animals. Are you? Hold on. You know how people will see like a bird and then be like, Grandma. Would you do that?
You want me to turn into like, oh, Grandma used to love yellow butterflies.
No, like yeah.
Follow this grandson around, being his grandma.
Yeah.
That's a business model that I would set up and happily do.
Exactly. And you know, my business model is doing things at a much higher, at a much higher capacity, much more important things.
Killing people?
Yes. How about this? You're setting up a fucking zoo. How about I just teleport and get the fucking animal and then put it down in front of the kids?
The animal is me. Well, you're gonna just steal me?
I could get so many of them. I could get so many, just regular rabbits, and then plop them down in front of the kids. And then I don't have to do any of the work. It takes me 5 seconds.
Why do you need teleportation for that?
Quicker.
Oh, okay. So you have all the rabbits, and then what?
Jane, you just said, I want to make a zoo so that little kids can be happy. You'd have to be in the zoo 24/7. You'd be in a cage, poked at and prodded at.
Not 24/7.
Little kids would spit at you.
Zoo is 24/7.
That's what you'd be subjected to.
Then I turn into the zoo security guard.
They'd fall into the cage, and you'd have to be shot and killed.
No,
yes.
Because I wouldn't.
You'd be like Harambe. A little stupid kid with their parents would drop their kid into the cage, and you'd be shot to death.
Nuh-uh. Well, I'll just turn back and hands up like I didn't do it.
You'd be a gorilla. You couldn't talk.
I am. It's. I can still talk.
Oh, you'd be a talking gorilla?
Yes.
Glad you added that one in.
See, now a zoo, a circus now. My business model.
Let's circle back there. You said business model.
Yes.
So you're also using this for profit. And that's what you think of when you think of, oh, what could I use this power for? Why is it useful? Is that to make money, or is it about the children? Because you keep talking about this business model.
Yeah.
It feels kind of morally bankrupt to me when I'm just being honest. I would use it for gain. Of course I would. I'm upfront about this. Teleportation, you could do anything you want as quickly as you wanted. You ever been?
You can make more money with transformation.
You literally can't.
You most definitely could.
You can't.
Look, you can make money with that, but with teleportation, you can also make money because people will get you.
You can transform into a fat breed hoe and throw some ass for some money.
All I gotta do
They'll
is
literally pay you to be a spy for the government. Bro.
All I gotta do is transform
Being able to teleport in anywhere around the world. They can just give you classified equipment, and then just go, teleport to this location and give this person this document.
I'm sorry, you would be a better spy if you had teleportation. I mean, not teleportation. If you had transformation.
You can literally just teleport inside of a government agency, plant a bug, and then leave.
I can literally just
immediately.
I can literally just transform into the person. I can literally kill the fucking president and then become him.
As you can do with teleportation.
Nigga, what?
Skinwalker.
What? How are you gonna become the president with teleportation?
You just assassinate.
Supplied, I can end. I would be able to end you in an instant.
Why am I being jumped? No, you wouldn't know who I am because I would be transforming into a different person.
I would call you out as a skinwalker on TikTok and on Facebook, and then all the Facebook moms would be like, "Oh my God, it's a skinwalker," and then you would get jumped.
Why would they? They wouldn't know who I am. I'm a different person. I was just transformed into a different person once I got called out.
Transformation never specifies what you can transform into, so it doesn't specify you can transform into a whole fucking new person.
They did. They did. They did. They did. They did.
Okay.
They did. Okay, yeah.
Still though, you can still get caught.
How?
Yeah, because you're the person you transformed into is gonna notice that you're them if you're in a
They
mainstream
would
or
be
take
dead.
over their
If
lives.
I
You're
see
not gonna know
someone,
how they
if
act.
I
You're not gonna know how they act or how they worked or who their family members were,
oh
how to
my
act
god,
towards
if
them.
I can
You're gonna be
transform
different.
into
They're
them,
like, oh, this
if
guy's
I can
not
transform
right.
into them, obviously I can transform my brain into theirs. So
No, you
therefore I
can't.
can
No,
copy their
it's-
What
yeah.
crack are you smoking?
Okay.
Who said I can't? Where's the say I can't? Where's the say I can't? I can transform. I can literally. It's so easy to copy someone's mannerisms.
You cannot copy brain you cannot copy brain matter like that.
Yes, you can.
You can't.
If I can transform, if I can transform my matter, I can transform my brain matter.
Memories are a concept, they're not.
Well, actually, yeah, exactly.
They're not actually a part of you.
Then explain why if I. Then explain why if I explain why if I take out your what's it called the part of your brain that holds memories, you forget shit.
You can't transfer that to other people.
Okay.
Dead, retard.
At the fucking
Okay.
airport, at the TSA
You won't be
security.
dead. You'll just be brain dead. You might not be dead. You'll still be alive. You'll
If
just
you
be a zombie.
remove the whole thing that holds your memories in your brain, that is a catastrophic brain injury. You will be registered as brain dead. So you're essentially dead.
Because there's different parts of your brain that holds memories. There's different. There's the long term. There's the part of your brain that holds long term memories, and the parts of your brain that holds short term memories.
The part of your brain that holds memories doesn't
Prove it.
work like that. You'd be dead in seconds.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Go look at the split
you
brain.
would.
Well, you know what? We're gonna watch another video after this. The split brain experiment. You can take out. You can live without half of your fucking brain. Shut up.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
You can take out half of your fucking brain and still live. Yes, you can. Yes, you fucking can. You're not gonna tell me this. No, because you're stupid. You're stupid. You can live without half of your fucking brain. You can.
No, you can't. There is significant risks. There are parts of your brain that you can.
When people have strokes, it is common practice for them to take out half of their brain and then them still be
No.
alive. No, it
Oh,
is.
You are
That's something-
actually
that is
fucking
some-
Spaz. You are
Bet.
trolling.
Bet.
There's no way you're
Bet.
not trolling.
Bet. Let's look this up. They remove. They remove. They do. They do.
stem
They
the
do.
bleed and
They
repair it.
no. They remove half of people's brains all
No,
the
they
time.
don't. They don't.
You're telling me when I have been to hospitals and seen people with half of their head sucking in because they don't have half of their brain. This is something that they do.
No. Oh my god. You are trolling. You are actually trolling. Holy fuck. You are lying. You are not real right now.
Yes, it is possible to live without half of your brain. Without only half of your brain, particularly at the surgery called up. No, like, look at that. Look at that. Okay. Like, I'm right. Look at that.
You are not right.
What do you
You are
mean?
so
I just
far
looked it
wrong.
up.
It
I
is
just looked it
embarrassing
up.
to
I
know you
just
exist.
looked it up. I just looked it up. What do you
Your
mean?
fucking
Look at my.
source is Google.
Caltech. Nigga, that's a. Oh my god. You know, no matter.
God.
It's a thing. It's a thing. I have seen it. It is. I have seen it. Go to your hospital and ask a fucking doctor. This is a thing.
My father is one, you dipshit.
You can live. Ask him. Ask him.
I've asked him this question before.
You can live without half your brain.
You can't live without half your
You can live without half of your
Bro, you're
brain.
fucking brainless. Holy shit. There's no way you're alive right now.
No, if you can live without half of your brain, that shit is a fucking miracle.
It is very possible.
It is a miracle that if anyone can live without half of their brain.
Oh my god.
Seizures can be devastating, affecting the brain.
On the daily, they say you only use 6%. That's because you only use 6% of your average intelligence.
Let's look up a video.
You need
have half a brain.
I don't believe it.
When people meet me, they have no idea.
Like, genuinely no way Supplied's not rage baiting right now.
I'm not rage baiting. This is a thing. This is an actual fucking thing.
No, you are. You
No,
fucking rage
I'm
baiting.
fucking
There's no
not.
way.
This is a fucking thing. You
Hello,
can
brain lovers. Gregory here from the Brain Academy. The question today is, can you live with only half a brain? Short answer is actually yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes! He said yes!
Long answer. Find out in this video.
What is the sources? Sources, motherfucker. You can't believe everything you hear.
Okay. Multiple fucking responses. Shit that I've actually seen. You can live without half of your brain. You're fucking retarded, bro. Yes, you can. Go ask your dad. Your dad's a doctor, right? Go ask him.
Not mine, the fridges.
I'm talking to the fridge. Go ask him.
Like I said, he's in the hospital getting his fucking heart fixed right now.
This guy is actually rage baiting.
I'm not rage baiting. This is a fucking thing. You can live, yes, and you know what a portion is? Half. You can live without half. Because you know what keeps you alive? Your brainstem. You can live without half and still have functions. Yes. Yes.
Your brainstem does not keep you alive.
Yes, it does! Your brainstem is literally the fucking main part of your thing that keeps most of your main body functions that keeps you alive.
Your brainstem is the part of your brain that connects the rest of the body to it.
Supplied, you did not pass fucking biology.
I most definitely did. Y'all are just stupid.
I don't believe
you. No. Your brainstem, there's a reason why if you destroy your brainstem, your body ceases to function. You can live without half of your brain. You can. This is a fucking...
You can't live without your brainstem. Like I said, your body stops functioning because like I just fucking said, that is the connector to the rest of your body. That is what controls your nervous system and your blood flow to your heart.
Okay. So we're getting somewhere, right? We're getting somewhere, right? And what keeps you fucking alive? Your blood flow to your fucking heart, jackass.
Your body cannot function without a brain.
It can't, yeah.
Unless you have fucking hundreds of machines hooked up to you, providing you nutrients, somehow making your fucking stomach digest and function, and your fucking heart pumping. There is no possible way you can live without a brain.
You can't live without a brain, but you can live with half of it.
No, you cannot.
Yes, you can.
literally cannot.
Yes, you can.
You literally cannot.
Yes, you can.
One whole fucking
Yes, you
half
can.
a hemisphere
Yes, you
controls
can.
half your body.
Yes, you
Believe it or
can.
not, half your body is your lungs and fucking.
You can live without. You can live with half a brain.
I do not care what sort of few people can live without that.
You can live without five and half a brain. You can live with five and half a brain. Living with half a brain. Living with half a brain. It's rare, but a few dozen people who live without brain much had less. Okay, yeah. See, can you survive without half a brain?
I do not care if very few people. It is a miracle that they could live without a major part of their brain.
You can live with a half of your brain.
You cannot. You
Yes,
are
you
rage
can.
baiting.
I'm not.
You cannot. You.
I'm not.
You're
This-
rage
this-
baiting right now.
This is a thing. This is an actual.
Cutting in half that there are sections in both hemispheres of your brain that are detrimental to your life. You can't just cut off one half, like directly in the middle. You can't just cut that off and be fine.
Obviously, you can. I'm looking it up right now.
No.
Sections
Early intervention examples. Moral leap.
as volume being half of your brain to live without it. Shut the fuck up.
Of course, it's gonna come with complications. There's gonna be complications if you have half a brain, right?
Bro, you have
Right?
fucking half a brain.
You can live without half a brain. You can live with half a brain. We're looking at it right now. How are you gonna look at this right now? How are you gonna look at it? And like we're looking at the fucking things right now. It's possible to live with half a brain. What do you mean? That is half. half, 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 half. That's not half. That's not half. Half, half, half. These three are most definitely half. This one's more like 3/4, like not even 3/4. I would say like 3/5. But half, 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 half. You can live with half a fucking brain. It happens. I have seen it. Okay, bet. Where's my mom at? Where's my mom at?
Hey, look at my stream. Look at my stream.
Yeah. Each part of your brain. Yes, I'm not saying each part of your brain isn't important, but it is possible to live with. It is possible to live with half your brain. It is possible to live with half your brain. It is. Let's go watch an actual fucking.
Bro, you're using YouTube as your source.
Dude, these are a lot of these guys are doing their research. At the end of the day, you know what? What do you want me to look it up? What do you want me to look it up?
Actual fucking brain surgeon with credentials verified.
This is a fucking thing. And only reason why I know is because my mom grew up inside of I grew up watching my mom go to the fucking EMT, reading her fucking books. There is a literal surgery. It usually happens to people with strokes or seizures, and they remove it's a thing. Go look it up. It is.
A stroke is a brain bleed.
Yeah. And if it destroys half your fucking brain, they remove it so it doesn't fucking
continue. It doesn't destroy half your brain.
It can.
You'll be dead.
Oh my fucking God.
That's instantly fatal.
It's not.
It would.
Yes. It's possible. Yes. It's possible.
Fridge, read out what part of your brain does what. But yep.
You know what?
Right, you can't hate him. That was kind of good.
You know what? That was kind of funny. I'll give him. That was pretty funny.
Creative.
That was pretty funny. You can live without half your brain.
Oh my God.
You're saying all this, but you're wrong. You're saying all this, but you're still fucking wrong. You're saying all this, but you're still fucking wrong.
You are so fucking dense, Supplied.
Removing half your brain procedure is called a hemispherectomy. Can lead to significant functional limits, including weakening in hand and foot, vision loss in one vision field.
You are so dense.
No. I don't think I'm perfect. I know I can be wrong. I know I could be wrong, but when I know something's right, because I seen it. Because I seen it in person. It's not an opinion. This is a fact. This isn't an opinion. This is fact. This is.
It's not a fact.
It is.
It's not.
Dude, this is something that they quite literally do. This is quite no, you're wrong. You're wrong. I'm sorry you're wrong. I'm sorry you're wrong. Don't get mad because you're wrong. It is survivable. It is. You know your brainstem still can still be attached to one side of your brain without the other side of the brain, right?
Oh.
You can cut out half of your brain and be alive. It's most definitely possible. This is possible. This is possible.
It's not. You are genuinely some kind of fucking stupid.
Cause you're wrong.
You know what?
Go ask. No, I'm telling you. Go ask your dad. Go ask your dad. Go ask your dad when your dad gets back. When your dad gets back, go ask him. Go ask your dad. Go ask him.
You would have to somehow keep your nerves intact. What do you think would happen if you removed one of the nerves in your arm? Your arm goes dead, unusable. You cannot use it if you remove part of your.
I never did. I say when you remove half your brain, all your functions are going to be perfectly fine. Your functions might be somewhat like off. Yeah, like your.
Sections of the body will be dead if you remove parts of your nervous system. Where does that nervous system attach?
It's not going to be dead. Your brain will make up for it. Your brain will make up for it. Your brain will make up for it. Your brain will don't get me wrong. You might lose partial your vision. You like I said, you might lose like some of your. You're not gonna lose all your vision. You're not. You're not. This is not something that's arguable.
You're actually rage baiting.
This is. I'm looking it up right. I'm looking at it right now. This is something that I have actually looked up before because I thought it was interesting.
Bro, you're the type of motherfucker who will look up, is the earth flat? And it will say yes, and go,
What is-
oh, the earth is flat.
No, I know the earth is not flat because it's provable. It's provable that it's not flat. But this is provable that it can happen. Because I've seen it. I have seen it. I have. You're saying this. You're saying something that I have seen is not real. Like I have seen people with half a brain.
Here you go. Another valid point from the dipshit in the doorway. If you cut your brain directly in half.
Oh my gosh! Why would you cut it? Because you're gonna hit the brainstem. But if you cut, like, if you're acting like you're not cutting. Who said you're cutting up the brainstem of the brain? You act like your hemispheres of your brain are both.
Around your brainstem, you are directly taking up a hemisphere of your brain.
Supplied.
You
Your
can live with.
statement-
I'm looking at it right now.
Supplied.
These are things. These are things that they
Supplied. Your
do.
your
Look at
exact
it.
Statement is you
Look
can
at
live
it.
without half your brain.
You can.
Which means half your entire fucking brain.
You can live without one of the hemispheres of your brain. You can.
No, you cannot.
See that image?
This one, yes. This one.
It's not half. That is a peanut.
This one.
Who took the peanut out?
This one. This one. Okay. This one. Yeah. This one isn't a direct half. This one's more like I would say. This one's like 3/4. No, not 3/4. I wouldn't say 3/4 because 3/4 would be like right here. This one, no, I'm not. This is a thing that they do. And this is a thing that they do. Like, look at it. It is called. It is literally a thing. It's a rare surgery. What site do you want me to look it up on? Name a site, and I guarantee you they'll say it.
Faggot, go back to the fucking images.
On Google? On that page?
You were just in.
There's no
What's
way
this?
you're real supplied.
What's this? Is this not half?
Side of the head that has no direct showing that it is directly half.
That is half.
Pieces that are probably
That is half. That's not the side of the head. That is the back of the head. No, that's not even the side of the head. That's the top of the head. That is most definitely the top because these are two different heads.
I do not believe Supplied is a real person anymore.
This is a thing that happens. This is a thing that happens. I'm sorry that you're wrong. This is a thing that like legitimately happens.
Oh my god.
You are.
Just don't argue with stupid. Just don't argue.
You're not arguing with stupid. You're arguing with me. I'm not stupid. Like you're most definitely you're wrong in this. I'm sorry, you're wrong. I have like.
This is the exact reason they tell us not to argue with stupid.
They do it all the time. It happens.
This is the exact reason they tell us to argue with stupid.
I'm Arya
Like,
Fala.
holy fuck.
I'm a pediatric neurosurgeon and an epilepsy.
We're watching this surgery now. No, because we're watching this surgery now. We're watching this surgery now. Like now you got me watching a fucking brain surgery. What is a what is a okay, let's look it up.
A hemispherectomy is an operation where an entire half of the brain is either physically removed or disconnected. And it's commonly done for children that have drug-resistant epilepsy. So these are seizures that are not responsive to medications.
Bro, I'm not believing a single word anyone says that's not directly from a fucking verified brain surgeon.
He's a brain surgeon! We just stopped doing brain surgery!
Fucking AI bullshit, bro. I need to talk to a fucking real life brain surgeon.
Oh my god.
That I can genuinely ask real questions and that I can genuinely verify their fucking credentials.
As someone who has seen this procedure, not seen the procedure
As
done,
someone who has a fucking brain cell, shit's not real, cunt.
Abnormal hemisphere.
It's real.
So the reason why we like to do a hemispherectomy as soon as possible in kids as young as possible is because the brain has the most ability to rewire itself.
Oh, okay, thank you. The brain will rewire itself to help you like get functions back. Yes, it will.
So typically there's two ways to do a hemispherectomy.
Yes, two small fucking minor brain injuries, like a small part of your brain gets severely damaged and it becomes essentially non-functional. The brain will rewire itself, yes, but not if it's half.
Yes, it will. This brain surgeon just literally said it.
Yes, assuming if like a small part of your brain goes missing.
Okay, I am like pediatric neurosurgeon and epilepsy. Neuro here at UCLA. What is a hemispherectomy?
A hemispherectomy is an operation where an entire half of the brain is either physically removed
we're watching it right now
or disconnected. And it's commonly done for children that have drug-resistant epilepsy. So these are seizures that are not responsive to medications, and the only treatment for it is to remove that.
No one's rage baiting. We're watching it right fucking now.
We like to do a hemispherectomy as soon as possible in
I'm not.
Kids as young
this
as possible.
Is the thing.
Because the brain has the most ability to rewire itself. So typically there's two ways to do a hemispherectomy. The more traditional way is to do an anatomic hemispherectomy, which really means to remove the entire half of the brain that's abnormal. But nowadays, what we typically do is
assuming that you don't die within surgery,
removing a much smaller portion of the brain, but really disconnecting the rest of the brain. So even though it's residing still inside the skull,
you're not gonna die.
Won't even work at all. It would be a miracle if your fucking heart and lungs still breathe.
You're not gonna die. Your heart and lungs runs for your brainstem. It's your brainstem that your critical body functions runs for your brainstem.
Oh my god.
Your critical body functions that run your life functions runs for your brainstem. There's different parts of the brainstem. I'm not talking about the actual there's different parts of your brainstem.
Supplied.
The part that keeps you alive is like towards the top of the brainstem.
Supplied.
Your brainstem is what keeps your heart and your lungs pumping.
Supplied.
Which part of your brain? Which part of your brain keeps your heart and lungs pumping? Then?
Supplied.
Which part of your brain keeps your heart and your lungs pumping? Then. Which part
Supplied.
of your? Which part of your? I'm listening, nigga.
Oh my god.
No one's
Supplied.
rage baiting you.
What
This
does-
is just facts.
Supplied. What does a CPU do?
The fuck are you, nigga? The
What
fuck
does,
is?
what does a CPU do? What does a CPU do?
What does that do with computer? What does that do with computer? Your CPU
Just
is
answer the question.
the CPU is your brain. If it's the brain of your computer. If your CPU dies, then what's it called? Yes.
Then what does the motherboard do?
The fucking motherboard connects it to like every other part of the computer. Yes, we all know this.
So what the fuck do you think the brainstem does? It's essentially the motherboard.
No.
Your brain's the CPU. Your fucking brainstem is the motherboard.
No,
It connects to fucking
your-
everything
your-
in your whole body.
Your
If
brain, your
is
brainstem.
gone,
If
you
your
fucking
brain,
die.
no, your brainstem allows your heart. Your brainstem controls the heart and your lungs, and then your major bodily functions. There's a reason why if someone shoots you in the brain, you can still be alive. And why do you think it stops after a while? Because your brain sends signals to your heart does not pump by itself. Your brain sends signals. Your brain sends signals. Your brain sends signals to your fucking heart to tell it how fast. Yes, and tells it how fast and how your brain sends signals to your heart. Your brain sends signals to your heart. There's a reason why we get strong and our heart learns depending on how much effort we put in. Because your brain puts effort into your heart. Your brain sends signals, tells your heart to keep pumping faster, and keeps pumping. Which is why if you destroy your brain, your heart will stop functioning, and same with your lungs. But that is all in your brain stem. Your brain controls your motor. Your actual brain, like the big blobby part, controls like the motor functions of other shit, like your memory, your thought process, and like your seeing and shit. But the main motor, your main functions, is controlling your brainstem.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know. The reason why I noticed is because I when I was a kid, I seen someone with half there. I was like, and I asked my mom, why? It's because she took me to the hospital after she got done with an EMT job. She was because like I got suspended or some shit, and then she was like, I was like, Mom, why did that dude have half a head? And she's like, oh, he had a stroke and they had to remove half his brain. I'm not rage baiting. You did. No, you guys said I was rage baiting earlier. You're not gonna gaslight me now. Either way, we're going back.
I want to kill myself so much.
We're gonna finish this video, and then after this, I'm signing off because that was a long ass debate. Now we're at how many out? We're literally at an hour and 36 minutes. 39 minutes, and I'm still not even halfway done for this fucking video.
Line?
Yeah, I have.
You just skip right by it.
Well, why would you go to the airport if you can just teleport?
Exactly. You don't even need to. You don't need a car. You don't need car insurance payments. You don't need nothing. You don't even need a house.
Mm-hmm.
You just live in someone else's house who died.
Oh.
Maybe you teleport in and kill them and then live there for a while. And then when they get found out, you just go somewhere else. Like that.
Okay.
No more commutes.
Yeah.
Instant vacations. Instant usefulness for anything you want. You can do this. You can do it.
Supplied is actually partially right.
How am I partially right?
He was wrong about the fucking during strokes and shit.
The what?
About removing half of the brain hemisphere for strokes.
They do it for strokes.
No, they don't. Not for strokes. For
they do it mainly
such
for
as cancer.
seizures.
They do, yes.
It's because
No.
massive tumors that deep root themselves into the brain. You have to massively cut off a majority.
Yes. It's a extreme surgery.
And the mortality rate is insanely high.
Yes. It is technically possible. It is technically possible, but it is so very unlikely
to remove one half
that
of
you're
the
not
brain
got.
is
You're
sometimes
very likely to
considered
not
for
survive.
children with severe intracerebral seizures, particularly those with underlying
But
conditions.
Supply is also
like,
right about the brainstem controlling life-sustaining functions.
like partial stroke, and while a stroke can cause seizures, like don't get me wrong, I never said it was an exact treatment.
Supplied
for
is
stroke.
also correct about fucking the brainstem controlling life-sustaining fucking.
Yo, don't
thing.
shut up about this brain debate. I'm about to remove mine.
No, like it regulates life-sustaining functions.
I know. You weren't here for this. I looked it up. I admit that I was wrong, but the first half I was doing was somewhat rage baiting, somewhat not. A majority of the brain you need is keep to survive in general. You just have to be
Yes,
lucky that you
you
can
get.
survive with that half, but you don't
Yes.
remove half of it for a stroke unless it's a stroke that literally shuts off your brain.
If it's a stroke that
Yeah, no.
strokes can cause a lot of times, strokes can cause seizures. Strokes can cause epilepsy. It's a different what's it called? Yes, epilepsy is different from a stroke, but like I said, if your stroke is causing you to have very big symptoms of epilepsy, they will remove half your brain to correct the epilepsy. They will. Yes, of course it's a last resort, but they still removed it because of that point. I've never said they do it the first time you have a fucking stroke. But if you're having epilepsy and the epilepsy medicine isn't working, you have a drug resistance. I never. Who the fuck says I had to specify? My main argument was no, fuck you. Cause my argument was never that they do it only for fucking strokes. My argument was that I seen a guy who got his brain removed because he had a stroke. First of all, guy in the fucking doorway. Okay, look, no, I don't need to be specific entirely because my point is still fucking right. They remove it because they don't remove it for every stroke, but But if you have a stroke that causes epilepsy, they still remove it. You just want to be right in some capacity, but I won. I'm sorry. Gang, nigga.
You could just do it.
Okay, so yeah, that's
gang, nigga.
That's great and all, but I think the transformation, you get to live life and experience
No, I win.
more
I'm sorry.
things.
Wham.
You know, if you want to go and fly around the Grand Canyon, if you want.
You know what? We're not even gonna finish this video. We're not gonna finish this video. We're not finishing this video because because we're not. Why are we not finishing this video? Because. I did not say an idiotic sentence. Everything I said was pretty smart. It was idiotic because you couldn't understand it. Just because you can't understand it doesn't make something idiotic. I'm stupid, but I was right. So my statement, what you're saying is my statement of they do it for people who get like strokes is wrong because I didn't say they don't do it to all people that get strokes. No, because my argument wasn't that. No, fuck you. My main argument. See, you scared everybody away. My main argument. No, fuck you. My main argument wasn't that. No. No, my main argument wasn't that. I did specify. I did specify.
No, you did it. You just said strokes. That's a broad term. There are
Okay.
different ways people handle strokes, different types of strokes.
Yeah. Yeah, and the strokes that cause epilepsy. But that wasn't my argument at the time. My argument at the time is the reason is that you can live with half a habit. You can live with half the hemisphere of your brain.
Definition of strokes, you have to specify, otherwise people are gonna think that you're thinking
Either way, no, because what you're trying to do right now is just trying to get a dub, and it's not gonna work. Because either way, that wasn't my argument at the time. I'm not saying they do it for all strokes. I was never saying they do it for all strokes. I never.
same context that you're saying that you're broadening the spectrum, and I should just understand that,
No, I'm not saying you should understand that. If you did your own research, you would know that they do it for people that do epilepsy, like I did. They do it for people that they do it if you have a stroke. If you have a stroke, if your strokes cause you, which strokes commonly do, cause you to get epilepsy. I don't need to do that when that wasn't my argument from the get-go. My main argument was that you can live with half a hemisphere of your brain. No, that doesn't have nothing to do with it. No, because that quite literally has nothing to do with it.
you have to listen to a part before arguing against it, because if you don't know what I'm going to say to you, how you know what you're supposed to argue against?
Because you're saying the same thing over and over again, so therefore, I can.
Same shit, I have to, because you don't let it fucking, you don't comprehend what I'm saying.
No, you're right. Let me hear your argument, and I guarantee I refute it like very easily. Why would you not?
A generalization of the general idea of a stroke and the general methods and the general things. You don't remove half of it as a generalization for strokes. It's the same way. You don't say murder is okay because there is a certain group of people who deserve to be murdered, but you say, oh, you should have researched what I meant by it, because that's just a broad term, and that makes no fucking sense. Because if you make it as a broad term, it doesn't work.
Okay. But that's assuming. That's assuming. You're okay. You just got done saying. You just got done making a whole point. Now you're going to a different point. Let me get into mine now.
No, if you're making an argument on a specific subject, you have to go to that specific subject. You don't just broaden the subject.
No, I didn't. But that's you assuming. That's you assuming that I'm broadening it. I didn't. You can't assume that I brought in anything, because I didn't broaden anything, because at the same time, because I didn't broaden anything. All I said was yes, no, yes. I said some. The keyword some. I said keyword some. Like keyword. I said I no, because from my argument.
Some of a generalized sum could amount to any amount.
Yes, they can, but it doesn't amount to all of them.
Yes, it does, because you said
No, it fucking what? Some amounts to all of them now. What?
you have to specify your terms.
So I need to be like, oh, this no, because that's assumed. No, that's what about this? No, that's that. No, I do not, because that wasn't a part of the argument at all. We weren't talking about the different types of strokes. We were talking about, is it possible to live without half of your brain? And then I brought up the fact. I know. Did I brought up that? I know. Hey, Fridge. I let you. Hey, Fridge. I let you speak on your. Topic. Now it's my turn. No, because I brought up the fact that I seen someone that had a stroke, and then what's it called? They took out half of his brain to help with that, and they did. And then what's it called? I did research on it in order to help with some strokes, especially epilepsy. I don't need to say that, because if you want to know more about that specific type of thing, that is on you to do the research yourself. Now, if I can understand if I said, yeah, if you get a stroke, if you have a stroke, they're going to remove half your brain. That would be generalizing. I wasn't generalizing, because all I'm saying is, yes, if you have a stroke, it is a possible procedure that they can do on you to remove half of your brain, and you can live with that. Because the argument was, can you live with half of your brain? And that was my main argument. Now, if we're arguing that, what's it called, this type of prosthesis they do for strokes, there's plenty of them. But the ones that cause epilepsy, that cause you to have epilepsy all the time, that's what they do for you. They can remove half your brain to help with that, especially if you're younger.
Now, riddle me this, Batman. What part of your argument made anyone think, oh, maybe I should research this in the middle of some dumb shit argument?
When I said it,
In the middle of an argument.
look, man, look, man. When I brought up the fucking actual license name, when I brought up the name of the procedure, y'all should have all I'm saying is I brought up the name of the procedure.
You said what I'm getting by what your argument was you heard about one guy.
No, I didn't hear about it. I seen it.
And see, that has happened a few times. And then you start arguing about the fact that you can live without half your brain. You can be alive. I wouldn't really say it's living because that's a really shit life that you have to live.
It's still living. You can still have most of your motor functions without half your brain. You can. It has been proven. We have seen it. We really watched a video on it where they said your brain will generally rewrite itself, especially if you're younger. If you're older, maybe not.
You couldn't say you could live a normal life because your intelligence wouldn't match. Because when you cut such a massive part of your entire brain system, all your brain cells,
You can still live a normal life. You're just not gonna. We're not gonna have. It's not gonna be the same. Of course not, because you're not living. What's it called? You're not. You don't have all your fucking brain, so you don't. You're not gonna have like.
live normally because you're severely disabled.
You're not gonna be severely disabled if you have half your brain.
Yes, you will.
No, you're not. We literally seen the videos. We literally saw a video of a lady talking pretty normally and walking around pretty normally. I literally pulled up the video.
But I guarantee you that woman has to go into the hospital a lot, not living a normal life, having constant hospital trips. You don't know. That was such a short amount that was shown.
Yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna. Of course, any health complication is gonna give you that shit.
Maybe she could only stand or walk for a few minutes. That makes them severely disabled.
Any
Because they can't work
look.
a normal life.
At the end of the day, if I'm able.
At the end of
At the end of the day, if I'm able to live and do, I don't need to specify that type of shit because the main argument was no, because our main argument, because now you're trying to add shit into it. Because we never talked about having a normal life. I never said you'll have like your average everyday life with half your brain. Yes, you can live.
they can live normally. No, they can't.
No one said live normally. My main argument, no.
And you argued that.
And at the same time, you can. You can live somewhat normally. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said earlier, because I even said it. Yeah, you might lose some of your brain functions for like some of your vision, some of your some of your hand functions, some of your speech functions for a little bit. But that shit you're able to relearn.
I'm done with this argument.
Cause
this shit is retarded.
at the end of the day, that's dubs. That's dubs for the sea bunny. 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 Dubs for the sea bunny.
Having arguments.
Dubs for the sea bunny.
Having arguments, you have to specify.
Dubs
If
for
you
the
have
sea
an
bunny.
argument, you have to be specific.
I don't know. You don't. And I was specific in what I was specific. I was specific.
You weren't specific.
I was. I don't need to be. I don't need to be specific. I don't need to be specific to your standards. I need to be specific enough. I need to be specific enough.
If you just say stroke, it's not specific at all.
I need to be specific enough to where I'm right. And I was right in everything I said. Nothing I said was wrong.
That's wrong. Some shit you said was wrong.
Nothing I said was wrong in that argument at all.
Other shit you said that was
Name one thing I said I was wrong.
That the fact that you can live a normal life without
can. I never said you can live a completely normal life. I said you can live a somewhat normal life. Those were my exact words.
No, you didn't even say somewhat.
I most definitely did.
You broadened the term by saying you can live a normal life.
I most definitely did say a somewhat normal life. Earlier in the argument, I quite literally said, yeah, you might not be, you might lose some of your vision. Your vision might be impaired somewhat. Your hand-eye coordination might be somewhat not okay. Like, but at the end of the day, you'll live a somewhat normal life without half of your brain. I most definitely said that.
The argument I'm getting across is that specifics are the base of arguments. You have to be specific in all forms of argument.
I don't need to say each exact term. No, you don't. You don't. You know, I most definitely don't. You know why? Because that's because there's a point where you overexert like how you're saying terms. I did specify. I specified enough to prove my point. I did multiple times. I specified how you would live. I specified how you would live without half your brain. I specified some of the procedures that they do it on, which is strokes. Yes, it's not all strokes, but it's strokes.
Strokes. You said strokes.
I don't need to say the exact type. I do not need this. No, you do not. Because at the end of the day, if
you're speaking an argument, you have to be more specific.
No, you don't. Either way, I was right. All I'm saying is, either way, I was right. Either way, I thought you said you were done with this, because I was right. I'm sorry that you can't admit that you can admit that you're wrong. You admitted that you're wrong. I don't need to be exactly specific. No, you don't. Everything I said was right.
First half of the argument, I was rage baiting the fuck out of you and me, to be fair, because I thought it was funny.
Everything I said.
It's really funny hearing you lot screaming. I found it quite entertaining.
Everything I said was right. Everything I said was right, and I'm not even, and you can't even argue with that. Everything I said was right.
You have to specify.
Everything I said was right. At the end of the day, ging.
No, you calling yourself smart was very wrong. You were incredibly fucking stupid.
Obviously not. Obviously not. If I was right on this point, I'm sorry. If I was right enough.
You can't call a fucking race car driver smart just because he knows how to drive a car well. That doesn't make him smart. That just makes him good in one field. Maybe he just knows one subject.
Okay, but what was this subject? Well, y'all were asking me, y'all said shit. Y'all said I was wrong, but I was right. And I know a lot of,
You're not listening to the first sentence I said. The first half of the argument about not living with your brain, rage baiting. I was fucking with you and going along with meme because the arguing I find entertaining.
Either way, I was right then. Even if you're rage baiting, I was still right at the end of the day.
I don't care. The second half, yes, I'll admit I was wrong because I didn't do my research.
So you were wrong twice. Just because you're a rage baiting doesn't mean you weren't wrong.
People mad. I find it funny to make people on here mad because of how easy it is. In real life, I won't fucking do it.
At the end of the day, this is my last point, and after this, I'm not saying nothing else. At the end of the day, either way, I was right.
Okay.
Both times.
Yes. Sure.
And just because you were rage baiting,
and my final point is,
just because you're rage baiting doesn't mean you weren't. No. No. If you want specifics, if you want exact specifics, if you want like synopsis on each type of stroke,
try with the argument about researching. I don't want to. I do not care.
then you can't tell me to specify, because at the end of the day, that's your burden.
Well, what if it's something that you can't research?
The fuck? Then you can't argue that.
You have to.
If it's something you can't research, it's something you can't argue.
If you can't specify yourself, then you don't know enough about the situation. You have to specify so that people can understand that you are smart enough in that subject and you know enough about that subject to then research it themselves to prove your point.
You looked it up. At the end of the day, you looked it up and you saw it was right.
I looked up the
Okay. Because I was right.
Way, if you are trying to succeed in an argument, there's no winning in an argument. If you're trying to succeed in an argument and prove a point, you have to specify. You have
I
to be
won.
specific
Type
in
shit.
argument.
I don't want to hear anything else. I won. Type shit. Type shit.
You're saying this because you don't want to hear a valid point.
Yep. Dubskis. Dubskis. And just like that, chat, that's how you catch dubs. That's how you catch dubs. That's how you catch gubs. Chat, you saw that. Chat, we saw that. All I got to say is I won that. We all saw I won that.